It's so amazing to see everybody. Just if everybody can rename yourselves, put your grad year and your, and if you have room for it, put where you are right now. That'd be great. And this is just so exciting for me. I know you all know me, but in case there's anybody who doesn't, I'm Rabbi Sue. And this is so much fun to see everybody from all the different years, literally from the start of BLI with David and David to today with our current student presidents. Ellie Fishman is our outgoing student president, and Gabe's our incoming student president now. So it's really exciting to see. And I think I was trying to make sure I'm right, but I think we started BLI in 1999. Is that right, Dave and Dave? Yeah. So this
we were freshmen in 98, but I think it took second semester before we got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it literally is 22 years then since it started, and it started with about 5 of us in the first meeting, I think, to now where we have over 100 members. So it's really exciting to see how much it's grown. And I have to be honest, BLI has always been my favorite Hillel club and thing that we do at Hillel. I think it's we do a lot of great things, but I think it's really one of the best things that we do at Hillel. And it's always been, I always say it's my baby because I just love BLI. So this is just, I can't even tell you how excited I am to see everybody and how much I want to thank all of you for being on this call. It's something that I have said for years that I wanted to create a BLI Alumni Network, and it took COVID for that to happen because I could do more things remotely. I never knew how to really reach people remotely via Zoom before, even though there were people who were using it before, not to the extent that we are now. And now I feel like I'm almost a Zoom expert. And it took being able to be able to really reach everybody. And our BLIs this past semester were all via Zoom, which has also given the opportunity to have many people back who wouldn't have been back to speak. And I'll be reaching out to a lot of you in the future to speak on BLI currently. But again, I just want to say thank you so much. If you haven't joined the BLI Alumni Network yet, officially, I'm going to put in the chat box the link for that so that please do. That way I'll have everybody's information all in one place. Joining, I will probably put you in anyways if you got on this call, but just in case, here is the link to officially join the BLI Alumni, bit.do/BLI Alumni Network. If you haven't filled it out yet, please do that. And if you know anybody else who was in BLI with you that may not have gotten that information, please forward that link on to them, because we don't have, Indiana got rid of nobody who had an @indiana.edu email. They've gotten rid of almost all of them except maybe the last couple years. So we didn't have updated contact information for everybody. So those are my few things. And now I actually want to turn it over to David Charney, who I don't want to take in your introduction, I don't want to take away things that you're going to say, David. So I'm not going to give you a huge introduction, so I don't take away what you're saying. But David Charney and David Moss were really the first two founding members of BLI. And so we wanted to give David an opportunity to talk a little bit and tell you about what he's doing and talk about whatever, bring us all up to date and hear about what he's doing a little bit. And then we'll talk some more. And just for people who don't know, real quick, just David will speak. Then we're going to let Ellie and Gabe talk about where BLI is today. And then Adam Berger is going to talk a little bit about where we're going. And then our some current students are going to join us. It's actually sorority recruitment is tonight. So I didn't know that when we scheduled the date. So we have fewer current students than I thought we might have. And then we'll do some breakout rooms, and then we'll come back together so we can light Shabbat candles and do the Kiddush. So David, take it away.
Absolutely. Can you guys just nod if you can hear me okay? I'm going to try to do it without my headset on. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, awesome.
Yeah, hear great.
Well, good to meet Good to meet you guys and gals. I am honored. I feel like we're all just graduates of the Hillel at IU, and I'd like to make sure that the future events we all take turns sharing where we're at. I feel honored that I get to go today. As Rabbi Sue said, I thought it would be interesting to kind of share the history, and I'll tell a couple personal stories along the way, and I'll try to keep it entertaining. And I'd love to hear anybody wants to fire questions my way, please do in the chat or through the Zoom. I'm David. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I showed up to IU. I didn't know a single person from my hometown or from Dallas when I went. I kind of did the freshman year barbecue. I think it's probably we all have that in common at least. Did the freshman year barbecue in '98. Kind of walked into the Hillel going, this is cool. I guess this is where the Jew crew hangs out. And then kind of was trying to figure out where the basketball courts were and kind of maybe where the young cool party folks might be. And I was like, I'm not sure this is totally my scene. I'm not a Jewish studies major. I'm not sure if I go abroad for a semester, it might not be Israel, even though I'm, Jewish and I've got a good background. It was just sort of my natural wanting to get out of the house and do whatever I wanted, feeling of feeling like I didn't necessarily have a true Jewish identity at this point of my life. And it was pretty neat. I kind of pulled over Rabbi Sue. I think early days, I kind of met Dave Moss and a bunch of other people that were involved. And I said, Rabbi Sue, I really like what you're doing here. I'm just not sure this is like totally my thing, my scene. And I want to be in touch and maybe come to a high holidays or a Shabbat dinner, but I don't see myself being involved with the Hillel. And she says, well, David, what are you into? And I'm like, I'm starting businesses. I want to do this. I've got lots of things in mind, but sort of studying Torah, this might be something we do later in life or a different stage of my life. And so Rabbi Sue said, well, what do you think would be interesting? And I'm like, well, I like to network. I'm trying to, do this and that. And, different people are starting different .com businesses. In '98, it was kind of the hottest thing ever. And certainly a time and a unique part in all of our lives. And Rabbi Sue said, well, we've got an amazing alumni network that funds the Hillel. Her brothers are impressive stories and all the people that have donated. What if we could get some of them to come speak here? And I said, that sounds fascinating. So that was kind of as simple as that story sounds. That was Rabbi Sue setting the culture that this is a Hillel that understands that this is a place for everybody. And without that kind of moment, I'm not sure we'd all be here today. So I just wanted to start by saying thank you, Rabbi Sue, for being the kind of leader that you are and the culture that you set up for the Hillel. And that is being, arms out, all encompassing, reaching in and pulling in everybody and anybody and finding a way to accommodate the different levels of Judaism and the different interests of the different audiences that you entertain and make part of our lives and our network. So I just wanted to start by saying thank you.
Thank you very much.
So a couple quick funny stories in the early days. I think Rabbi Sue was like, here's a list of my alumni. How do we do this? And I was like, we just start calling them and asking them, and we sort of started scheduling them. In the original days, we had MBA students in the program. We had to write a one-page essay to get into BLI. I don't know if I can find that, but I probably can. All of my friends and I used to use one of my servers to store all of our stuff, so I probably could find it. We had a guest speaker fly in on a helicopter from Indianapolis, so he didn't even make the 45-minute drive. He made a 15-minute helicopter ride, and I think we picked him up at the police station. We had a guy that owned all the vending machines in Indiana, or what seemed like all the vending machines in Indiana. We obviously learned a lot from Rabbi Sue's brothers. We did tours of Ennis Communications. We did all kinds of cool stuff. We had a guest speaker from the Chicago Board of Trade, from the RAND group. I ended up getting a job working on the Chicago Board of Trade, wearing a colored jacket. Justin Seidenberg, who's one of my groomsmen in my wedding, and like David Moss, is a great friend of mine. He ended up getting a job there as well. So we got jobs through BLI Network. Ironically, for those of you that haven't been on the LinkedIn page, I'm going to just flash it up for a second because I think this is fascinating. Rabbi Sue and Philip put on a picture of kind of our slow to start, but hopefully stronger to way to stay in touch with everybody, BLI picture from, I'm assuming, modern era. Well, I scrolled and I found this picture from 18, 20 years ago. And here is Ryan Finnegar. Here's Justin Seidenberg, Moss. I'm sure you're in here somewhere. Brett Meerman, Brad Cohan, Scott Klein. These are These are all buddies. And here's Gene B. Glick, who I'm not sure where he stands in Indiana real estate, but if he's not number one, then he can't be much farther than number two or number three in the state of Indiana's most successful real estate entrepreneurs. And I love that about BLI. I love that we've got that entrepreneurial spirit. Ironically, I run into his son-in-law. So his daughter married a Jewish guy, I assume from Indiana, and they are now running his business. And I ran into them in my commercial world, in what I do for a living, which I'll get into in a second. So I just wanted to share some of those early stories because I think the BLI in the early days is just awesome. I would say that same spirit that I give Rabbi Sue credit for setting the culture of Hillel is probably the reason that I married a Jewish girl. I think that I was sort of indifferent mindset going into college. And I think the concept of learning to not avoid something that's important to you, but adopt it and find a way to make it your own was a big part of the reason that I committed just to myself and to my family, that was something that became important to me, which I'm not sure it was going into school. And so I'm fortunate to have a wonderful family here in Dallas and 3 wonderful kids that now go to Jewish day schools and are doing dual Spanish language programs and all kinds of cool stuff. And they hang out with a couple of the people here. So I just wanted to give a little more credit there. And I'll just wrap up because I can't stop bragging about Rabbi Sue. Rabbi Sue has come to Dallas many times for fundraisers. We've obviously got everybody we could possibly get to help her, raise money for IU. She was co-officiated in my wedding, which a few of you were at. When she comes to town, she always demands a nice Shabbat dinner with us, but then she demands that my wife and I get out of the house and she'll stay home and babysit all of my children, which is such a pleasant house guest. Like, I can't even explain it. It makes me, when I travel, want to go do that to other people. It's sort of like passing it forward. So Rabbi Sue, thanks for leading by example. I've fallen asleep. I don't even know what the Hillel looks like. I used to go every semester and speak at the BLI dinners. I haven't been back in 5 years, but Justin Seidenberg and I, who's on the call, we literally fell asleep out cold studying for exams in the library next to the elevator. If you're sitting in the dining hall looking at the front of the Hillel, there used to be a library in the front right room that had windows that faced Third Ave or whatever it was. And we fell asleep like out cold for hours, like through the night. And I don't even remember if Hillel stayed open at night back then. But I think we even inscribed with a permanent Sharpie marker in one of the books that if we ever came back to IU, we were going to find that book. And I used to go look for it when I came to speak at BLI, not even tell anybody. But the library was just gone when I showed up one year. So wherever those books went, ironically, Justin, we probably owe them a book since we Sharpied one up with our names. And I'll transition a little to modern era. What have I done? I'll skip 2 different careers of 5 years of business, and I'll jump to the entrepreneurial story that I think is most interesting for you guys. My family, my brother, my dad, and I, really my dad's the visionary entrepreneur in our family, but he showed us from the ground up. We always called it the Norm MBA, just because it's the street schools, not so much the textbook schools. Even though Rick and I were business school, of course, at IU. We built a company called Stealth Monitoring from the ground up. Tiny little business in Dallas. To this day, we're all still there and involved. We're now running a 750-person company with 20 offices in 3 countries. And we're the largest video surveillance company in North America. We basically put 500 to 750 people in jail per year and stop about 20,000 crimes a year. It's pretty cool business. If you're bored, go look at YouTube on Stealth Monitoring. You'll see a little about what we do. But I think the reason I wanted to bring it up was to talk about having a little bit of a purpose. I've always spoken at the BLI dinners on a speech I call the top 10 things I wish somebody taught me from business school. I've since had that same speech, not just at IU, but at University of Texas, at SMU, and MBA students. I've done it to EO groups or entrepreneurial groups, CEO groups. And I think the thing that I thought was always special about hiring people in an organization, especially with the vision that my dad, my brother, and I all had for this company, was our business had meaning. It was something that was net good for society. And so while we were very much a for-profit business, I always found we could hire talent even at below market rates, or I knew they could go get a job for more money somewhere else because we were doing something good for the world. We were helping secure buildings. in some cases help protect people physically from getting attacked in parking garages or weird situations. And so I always sort of felt like the business that we were in was special because we could declare what we did honestly, openly to religious leaders or to anybody. We could sit back and be very proud about what we did. And so I sort of, in one of those speeches I've given at BLI, the top 10 speech, I've always said, do something you're passionate about, make your job a hobby that you enjoy doing, that you happen to get paid for. I think it's that concept that we built something special because we felt very passionate that this is something that the world should have more of. And we were sort of always open-minded that competition will come and hopefully we'll kick their butt, but honestly, there's plenty of space for all of us. And it was just sort of a different mindset. I just felt that we did things in a certain sort of charny way. And I'm very proud of what we accomplished from that. So just thought I would share that. It's cool to hear the technical and the revenue and the special numbers, but I think to me, it's more important that we tell a story that we were passionate about it because it did something for the world and we were proud of that. In terms of just a quick modern day update, now we help secure private Jewish schools. I got asked to fly to Washington, D.C. 2 weeks before the election to help secure a bunch of confidential buildings right around the White House. How ironic is that a month later when we see what happened in the world? I was in Indiana doing a site visit of a very, very ghetto rough apartment complex in Indianapolis, which being in my bubble of Bloomington arts and culture, didn't really understand how bad Indiana had some pockets, and was police escorted for the record. And that night I got invited through a Jewish guy in Indiana to go to a networking event. It turns out that the governor of Indiana, happens to be at the time Mike Pence, who 3 months later becomes the vice president of the United States, was the person that I happened to have met just hours after walking through a ghetto apartment complex where I had 2 police officers sort of securing me, helping to, improve the security in a rough pocket outside of Indianapolis. And I actually learned about something called post-road rap. And in Texas, we have something called Texas country, which is like a subset of country music. But in rap music, I guess there's a post-road rap, which is like a particularly subset genre that is based out of Indianapolis. First I've ever heard of this, but just thought I'd give you a little interesting tidbit there. Last story I wanted to share, just kind of before we move on, was there was a night where Rabbi Sue invited me to go to a Indiana Pacers Dallas Mavericks basketball game. This is a true story. And of course, being from Dallas and being from a sports family, I quickly went on eBay or whatever and got myself a Dallas Mavericks jersey, and showed up with Rabbi Sue in the Pacers owner's box. And of course, sort of embarrassing to wear a Mavericks jersey, but it's NBA, it's fun, it's passion, it's telling a good story. If they show the box, I was sort of proud to be a Dallas fan. Mark Cuban had just bought the Mavs. It's kind of exciting. So I'm there. We do the networking thing. We have a good time. We're flying home. I'm definitely a chronic speeder, and I get pulled over on 37 going too fast in the dark at night with Rabbi Sue in the car. And ironically, the policeman says, "What are you doing going so fast?" And I said, "Sir, I'm just taking the rabbi home." And the policeman, I think he borderline escorted us back to the Hillel at highway speeds. So I got out of the ticket, and it wasn't my last time. But it was a neat application of the kinds of experiences I've had with Rabbi Sue. And some of those stories would have just gone to the grave if I didn't have this avenue to share them. So last thing I wanted to say was, I thought one more thing was interesting. We have an obligation to give back. And I remember it was senior year. I'm pretty sure a really great president of the Hillel at IU, I think his name was Philip, a really cool dude. It was just like everybody liked him. He had like long, flowing, cool hair and kind of an artsy guy. I was kind of straight up business, wearing a collar all the time. And we the three of us got together to talk about raising money for IU and the Hillel, and it's always a thing. We all owe a responsibility to give back, through the alumni or not. And there's this massive annual fundraiser in Indianapolis at someone's fancy home. I think it was actually Rabbi Sue's brother. I remember he has an indoor tennis court. I need to take advantage of that next time I'm there. And basically it was this awkward moment where essentially the president of Hillel, and I'm like the random guy that runs the BLI sub club, we all sort of agreed that, like, David, we need you to be asking for the money in Indianapolis. I'll tell the status of Hillel, but we need you to be doing kind of the fundraiser. It was this weird moment where I said, it's come full circle from my freshman year, where I'm not I'm not sure I would have walk back into Hillel to the senior year where the president of the Hillel says, David, I'd like you to take my spot. I mean, we'll all do this together, but I'd like you to take my spot on the money ask in Indianapolis. And so I just felt very happy and proud and thankful for the culture that the Hillel at IU has and for all that Rabbi Sue has set up in terms of getting us all involved. So with that said, thank you for the high honor of being the first of all of you speaking at the BLI alumni event. I look forward to a lot of cool and tricky questions from you, so field them and send them my way on the chat here in a second. And I'd like to hear all of your stories, if not tonight, then over the course of a couple of years being friends. I would love to network with you when I'm in town in your cities. I'd love to learn from you guys, just as I hopefully shared my stories tonight. I think we're all the same here, and let's just make an awesome little alumni club that I think is pretty elite. If we went around this circle, which we won't have time to do tonight, I would be very impressed to hear what everybody is doing and the kinds of people that it took to set up this event. I worked with many of you on this committee. It's just awesome to hear what Adam Berger and what each of Jeff's stories are. It's awesome to see. So I look forward to being very involved. Thank you all for having me, and please fire any questions you want, I guess, through the Zoom or the chat, whatever you like.
Give everybody a minute.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll go first. I'll give a question. First of all, thank you, David, for that. It was really helpful and great overview. I guess if you were to take one, so first of all, I'm Ethan Goldwasser. I graduated in 2013, live in New York City, work at Morgan Stanley in investment banking. If you were to think about like one of the things, if you had to like pin down like one or two things that you most reflect back on today, almost 20 years later, from your experience at IU and with Hillel, like what would those be? In terms of just like general lessons or just specific experiences that you think have like left a lasting impression on you.
Yeah, I was nervous at the beginning of your question because I didn't have an answer. But by the end of your question, I realized that making life what you want it to be is the answer. Whether you show up to something and you have a predetermined answer as to what you think it might be, and having that attitude, like this isn't for me, is not the right attitude. And this is I went with my instincts and it worked. And I think trusting your instincts, whether it's life, relationships, business, finding a network, finding a way to make what you want happen. The world is your oyster. And honestly, I could have given up on Hillel, but honestly, it worked out. I couldn't be happier. And this is an awesome group. I mean, I literally want to get all of your phone numbers and talk to you one-on-one in the next 2 months. Like, that's what I feel like I want to do out of this event. Like, I just feel like you guys and gals are awesome people. And I want to be in touch with you. And, when COVID's over, I'd like to be catching a beer and a sushi with you when I'm in your town. Thanks, Ethan.
Thank you.
For the record, Ethan, I lived in New York City in 2001. David Moss called me within 3 minutes of 9/11. I had moved out of New York City 1 week before it, living in the city, and that was 2001, summer of my life, best summer of my life. But hopefully one day I'll top it.
David, who is someone in those first few years that you were I'll introduce myself very quickly, but I'm chatting later. Adam Berger, 06, live in New York. And who's someone in those first few years that you were trying to get and maybe got away, or you wish could have spoken at BLI, if you can recall back?
Good question. I don't remember with Rabbi Sue failing to get somebody we wanted to. Rabbi Sue is incredibly resourceful and persistent on a goal. When you set her course, you all know she's relentless in a great way at getting there. So I don't remember having, like, let's say, a so-called miss. Certainly we've tried to write Mark Cuban. There's some folks that they're just maybe next level that was a little too aggressive to try. I certainly emailed him and he emailed us even back. But I think it was just not really on the right radar for him when he'd come in town. And I have walked the business school with Mark, and I have emailed him a couple times, but I wouldn't say I know him. So that would maybe be the answer. But thanks, Adam. I appreciate it. And by the way, Adam's an unbelievable guy. I want to add him to the list here soon as well. just to give you 2 more minutes of color, and we'll just move on so we don't feel awkward questions that are needed. I introduced Justin Seidenberg to 2 guys in the Wilkie dorm, a guy by the name of Mike and another guy named Jason, who were playing, this is so my college sophomore year, playing La Bamba in the lobby of a dorm room. And I said, you guys are amazing. We should record an album. And they go, what? And I go, I'll be back with my laptop in 10 minutes. We literally recorded every song they played that night after that. I still have those MP3s. And they went on for like 7 years to be the biggest band at Indiana by the time they left, called 3 Minute Mile, who went on permanently to Chicago and Justin was my pledge brother at ZBT. And the way the band started was, I told these 2 guys after I recorded that album in the lobby of Wilkie, I know a drummer who can play Dave Matthews. He needs to be your drummer. That's literally what I said to them. I had no idea what I was saying. And that's how that band started. And they went on for 7 years, and their band paid for their housing in Chicago. And Jason played on the way to South America at our house for a martini party this year, actually the week before COVID. March 7th, here in Dallas, Jason played at my house just to kind of make the world small. So y'all, thanks for the time. I want to make sure we get back to the rest of the agenda. Thank you for having us.
David, thank you so much. It's so good to have that walk down memory lane. And thanks so much for all the things that you said. It was really, really fun. I'd forgotten about Gene Glick flying down in his helicopter. And follow up is that now his son-in-law, as David mentioned, David Barrett is actually running the company now. And he spoke recently because his son, or Gene's grandson, is now a student at IU. And he spoke, I guess it was last year, because he actually came in person. So that means it was last year. And it's really cool to see how things come full circle. So that's been pretty amazing, because when Gene flew in his helicopter down, David, I think, was still a student at IU. I think he was a law student at the time at IU, if I'm remembering right. So it's amazing.
Yeah, Rabbi Sue, we had Mr. Glick. We had a really nice dinner in Indianapolis.
Yes. Yeah.
It was very funny. A lot of drinks, and he's a great guy, really, really kind guy. And yeah, it's one of the more fun BLIs, which is saying a lot. We had a lot of great ones.
Yeah, that's right. I'd forgotten about that. He bought us all dinner because I guess he didn't want to come down anymore on his helicopter. And I think it was really fun to see him in Indianapolis.
I remember that dinner too. We all went up to Indy for it.
Yeah, that was incredible. That was really fun. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. It's really fun. It's so much fun to see everybody. I want to now turn it over to Ellie and Gabe, who you guys can introduce yourselves a little bit more, but they are current, immediate past and current student president, to tell us a little bit about where BLI is at today.
Thank you, Rabbi Sue. Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking part in this initiative to join the BLI Alumni Network. My name is Gabe Renard, and I am the current president of BLI, and I'm here with Ellie Fishman, the immediate past president. Today, Business Leadership Initiative at IU Hillel is a Kelly-recognized organization, has more than 100 members, and has an alumni presence of over 750 professionals around the world. As a Kelly-recognized organization, we receive immense prestige. We have a standing delegate within the Kelly student government, and we have the capability to now partner with many organizations all across campus. We provide our members opportunities to hear from experienced individuals in many fields, and even through this pandemic, we have thrived by bringing in exciting speakers that are often unable to travel to IU.
We have also enhanced our members' professional toolbox through resume and LinkedIn workshops that went beyond just our speakers and that aim to enable our members with skills allowing them to succeed in the business world. And although the world has been very different since the start of the pandemic, we're optimistic that the future will be filled with many fun BLI dinners, bonding events, and bringing alumni back to Bloomington. Overall, we're incredibly proud of where BLI is today, and we're thankful for alumni like yourselves who have helped get us here to the place we are today. Now that we told you a little bit about kind of where we're at and we'll pass it off to Adam Berger to kind of talk about where we're going and the future of this initiative that we're starting.
Well, thanks, Ellie and Gabe, and David for starting this, and absolutely Rabbi Sue. I remember, I think I saw you just a few weeks before the pandemic. You came to, I work at Facebook in New York, and you came to Facebook and we had a great chat and reconnect, and we talked about this idea, not knowing what was going to hit all of us. And as you said, this created so many, I guess, blessings in disguise, and hearing that they're seeing 35 of us here and 750 of us out around the world, from Rome to Amsterdam and wherever else. We're 5% done. And so I just want to spend like 30 seconds. I'll give a little bit more background on me and why this is exciting and why I was so excited to be in BLI at school, and then talk about the future, because I think it's super connected. And as David said, and as we've been chatting, you know, this mission-driven company, I think is so incredibly powerful. And I'm sure 35 of you have 35 different opinions nowadays of what's going on at Facebook and Instagram and the role we play in the world and whatnot. The thing that has kept me there for almost 10 years is the mission-driven side of it. And I'm not here to kind of convince you or change your minds. But I do wake up every day and think about, how do we connect people? How do we bring people together? I work on the advertising side. I lead a creative team that helps businesses from the smallest in the world with one employee who runs their business on WhatsApp to the largest businesses like Coca-Cola, Unilever, GM, et cetera, who obviously have tens or hundreds of thousands of employees and $1 billion of revenue, and how they use our platforms to connect. Because in the end, that's what this is all about, right? Connecting to one another, connecting people to businesses, making people's lives better, connecting you to friends and family, connecting you to people like you. And so for me, back from 02 or 03 to 06, BLI was this real point of connection where it intersected my deep love for passion and my passion for Judaism, and then great people. And a bunch of you are on this call, and many others out there who aren't, that just like we were able to learn, we were able to exchange ideas, we were able to find a commonality. And so when I think about what's the opportunity for this group, and so appreciative for all of you joining on a Friday evening, or depending where you are, night or afternoon, is for us to connect, for us to find those points of connection, be it around our geographies, be it around our industries, be it around our passion points, be it around our challenges of stages and ages that we're in. Are you a new parent trying to balance work? Are you moving careers? Are you considering business school? Right? Across this crew, as David said, like it would be an incredible resume and who's who across industries. I'm sure we're heavy in finance, marketing, real estate, entrepreneurship, management, right? I'm sure the list goes on. And so we want to create these opportunities to connect and to start at that point of just that little bit less friction. We were all in BLI, we all went to IU, we're all Jewish, we all have a connection to Hillel in one way or another. We probably all at least know one other person here. And so that's what we thought we could do is not just meet and go away and say goodbye. And it was like, that was nice, you walk away with business cards, but actually go a bit deeper and figure out and really rely on all of you and hear from you as how do we want to build BLI out and what's gonna add value, and how do we, whether it's find our wives or husbands, whether it's, you know, creating new business opportunities, whether it's moving jobs or careers, or whether it's just connecting with folks who are similar in nature. That's what we think is the opportunity here, and appreciate you all being here. So to kick that off, it would be great if not only everyone's willing to open up and share, be speakers when the time comes. If you have old photos, add them to the LinkedIn group. If you have friends who are in BLI who couldn't make it tonight or didn't sign up, just ask them to join. And, you know, if they come when there's an interesting speaker, maybe yourself, that could be a way in. If you speak, bring 3 friends with you. You know, these small steps I think will allow us to grow out this really tight-knit network.
Great.
Over to you, Rabbi Sue.
Thank you. Thanks so much to everybody. Again, like Adam, thank you so much for speaking. I know it's hard to believe. I think it really was, I went straight from seeing you to the APAC conference at the end of February in New York. And we were headed to, right after the APAC conference, we were supposed to have gone to Israel for a new trip that we take for 20 non-Jewish students and 5 Jewish students to Israel. We were supposed to leave during our spring break, which was a week after the APAC conference ended and a week and a half after I saw you, Adam. And I got back from APAC and I was like, no, I don't think we're going to be canceling this trip. No way are we canceling this trip. We're going. And then 3 days before we were supposed to leave, Israel closed its borders and we had to cancel the trip. But, and it's hard to believe that was almost a year ago.
I recall that there were very few people in the office that week because they already, by the last week of February, we were optional to work from home, just as a precaution. And I remember where we sat and like nobody walked by us the entire time.
That's true.
Eerie. And I think that was my last day or second last day in the office. So I know we've all gone through a lot since then. I hope everyone's safe and healthy and families are as well.
Yeah, that is the most important thing. And also, just like as we're talking about that, just as a quick update for people who, if anybody is wondering, for IU, we have been in person for the year, but most classes are actually virtual, even though IU had everybody come back and be in person. At Hillel, we did all of our programming outside on the front lawn under tents. Because we don't really have a room that's big enough to be socially distanced safely, certainly not while we eat. So we offered virtual and in-person opportunities for pretty much every program that we did. And then according to the plan of IU that they set out in August or July, everybody went home for Thanksgiving and didn't come back. And classes have started virtually on last week. And then the residence halls open back up and students are back in person on February the 8th. And then there's no spring break this year and we go through to the end of May. I mean, the end of April till May 8th is graduation. So it's obviously, as everybody knows, a very different year for us. It's been different. We haven't had students hanging out in the building because it's not really safe. We can have one-on-one meetings in the building, but that's about it. So it's been a very, very strange year for us. But still, we've had a lot of feedback that it's been so positive for students in terms of Hillel because we're one of the only organizations that actually is doing any in-person programming. So students have told us that they feel very lucky that they have Hillel to go to. And I will give you the exact quote from a student who says, I feel safe to come to Hillel because we know there are adults making us follow the rules, the COVID safe rules. So I think we've been a really important presence this semester, even though we're also not allowed to have more than 25 people, even outdoors. And outdoors, it's masks and social distancing and outdoor programming, but the university doesn't allow any program with more than 25 people at it. We did get a special exemption for high holidays. We were allowed up to 50 people for services outside, socially distanced on our front lawn. So it's been a really interesting year and has presented many of the challenges that so many of us have faced. But it's, like I said, it's been wonderful that we've been able to be there and to be still doing, being a place for students during all of this. But our students are actually going to get on in about 15 minutes. So we have a few minutes that if people want to maybe ask any questions, when we go into the breakout groups, we're going to be having you give your name, get more of an opportunity to network with your name, what you're doing now, and a BLI memory and where you'd like to see the network going is what we're going to do in the breakout rooms. But we have a few minutes until the students get on to at least any questions that people have or any memories that people want to share. Now, please feel free to do that for a couple of minutes while we're waiting for the students to get on.
Hey, Rabbi Sue,
Yeah.
How are things going on the building campaign that you had kicked off? Is that sort of taking a pause given the environment has changed so much? Is it planning to restart?
So great question.
A little bit more about that.
That is a great question. So we were planning, for many of you, Hillel was new when you were on campus. We built this building is 1993. We've completely outgrown this building. We wanted to build a new building. We will be moving hopefully to the other side of campus. Hillel used to be in a great location. It's not anymore. Our new location is about a block from Kelly. It's at 11th and Woodlawn, which is much more central to campus right now. We had to
That's
put
because campus is growing north, right?
north. Yeah, the campus is really completely moved north. And we would be really in the heart of campus and in the heart of where the university plans for future building. So we hope to, we have put the building campaign on pause. We're hoping to restart it up once we could. I was traveling all over the place, talking with people and meeting with people. Our campaign is a $15 million campaign. We have two lead gifts that equal $5.5 million and some other gifts that are about another $1 million. And we're hoping, we're in conversation with one other, hopefully major donor. We don't have an answer from them yet. They were ready to make their gift right before COVID hit, and then they weren't making any gifts during COVID. So we've resumed the conversations, but we're hoping that we'll be able to pick the campaign back up really within the next couple of months, as things, hopefully as the vaccines start to take effect and more people are vaccinated, and hopefully the economy will restart. So I really hope so. It's something that's such a necessity for us because one of the reasons, for COVID, we haven't been able to have people indoors because it's just, there's no room big enough for a socially distanced situation. So hopefully we will pick it up shortly. That's a great question. Anybody else have any other questions, memories you want to share? Anything like that? Anybody? Okay.
I don't want to make Dave Moss or Justin nervous, but I could go all night. I just wanted to say, I think it would be fun for this alumni group who's kind of the senior, been there, done that folks that are now out of college a few years and moving on to the next chapter. I think it'd be nice over time if we could pair up with, series of either in school students or maybe recently graduated ones, only because it's such a difficult time with Zoom and all this, but that might be a nice perk to sort of get out of the campus world and have perspective for young, younger crews that are in it. Obviously, we all hope that in a couple of years when the COVID comes, maybe we can all do an event where we all come together and recreate the old memories that we have from various establishments from around Hillel and at Hillel. That might be fun as well.
That'd be amazing. A couple of things too, I guess that's a really good segue, David, is I would love to, some of the things that, Adam mentioned some of these, is that I will definitely be contacting several of you to speak for BLI. I'm putting the schedule together now for next semester, so I will be reaching out to some of you to speak. And then we do want to start, actually, Gabe and I were just speaking today or yesterday, I guess it was, and we do want to start to put together a mentoring program this semester. So we will be, anybody who checked off is either on this call or checked off on the BLI Alumni Network form that you're interested in the mentoring program. What we hope to do is match students with mentors, with all of you in the field. And it's something that we also believe I think it's great for the students and it's great for you to have that opportunity to mentor. The other thing that we're hoping is that it's going to help us to take BLI to the next level. As one of the Kelly recognized clubs, which that wasn't even a thing when we started BLI. I don't think there were even Kelly recognized clubs at that point, but we just became a Kelly recognized club probably 3 or 4 years ago. And I actually saw him on the call. Let me see if he's still here. Joe Fitter, are you still on the call, Joe? I think he may have hopped off, but Joe Fitter is our faculty advisor, so that we can be a recognized Kelly club. And as a recognized club, as Ellie and Gabe said, we have a lot more recognition within Kelly and the ability to recruit better. But there are so many Kelly clubs. I don't know, Gabe and Ellie, how many Kelly clubs are there these days? Seems like 100.
Maybe more.
Yeah, and it's always growing.
Yeah, so one of the things with BLI is for most of you, there weren't a lot of other Kelly clubs when you were in BLI. Now, because there's so many Kelly clubs, this mentoring program is something that will set us apart because other clubs aren't doing that. So knowing that students can have mentors, and it's going to be something where students have to make a commitment to BLI in order to get a mentor. both because we don't want you to mentor somebody who isn't serious about connecting with you, and also because we want that to be something that BLI students feel is valuable. So we will be reaching out for that. We'd like to make a directory. I think it was mentioned in the BLI network form. If anybody's great with making that sort of thing and wants to volunteer to help me, please reach out to me and let me know. Rabbi Sue at iuhillel.org. I'm going to put that in the chat box. But if anybody else would like to, if anybody's interested in helping with that, really, please let me know. We will put that together. One of the, some of the other things that we're hoping to do, we want to have a program, many programs still just for alumni, for you to connect with each other. And then I would like to see in sometime in April, we want to have a Hillel event for our graduating seniors and with alumni who can help them connect to the communities that they're going to. So those of you who are in places where a lot of alumni end up, like Chicago, New York, California, Texas is where a lot of our alumni go to. We're going to ask you and anybody else who wants to get on a call with those graduating seniors to help them integrate into your communities, and so that they'll know somebody when they get there. That's one of the things we're putting on our calendar for April. And then, and as I said, we want to just keep building up this network. And as I think we've all said 10 times, I'm going to say it only one more time, I promise, is if you please let people know. I had some people got on late, so it may not be on there. Let me just put in the chat box again, the link to sign up officially. And please, again, pass this out to your friends who were in BLI with you so that they can be a part of this and we can reach out to them. I'm going to put that in the chat box again because I know people, it's only in there from the time that you get on. So, those
I'll
are
add that when we were all there, at least as I recall, there were way more women in BLI than represented in this group here. So if we make a specific push, let's try to find where those women have gone around the world, because I think we're looking a little bit like a dudes fest. And I'm not sure we all would have shown up if BLI was just dudes.
I think that's true.
Sue, there used to be, I don't know when it died, but there was after BLI a couple of years, there was like a communications leadership initiative led by Rebecca Goldstein, who was definitely entertaining for all of us. But can we merge the CLI in with the BLI action?
Yeah, we could definitely, because that only lasted a couple of years. So we could definitely reach out to them. Maybe we can reach out to Rebecca if anybody's still in touch with her. And
so bringing that name up is kind of funny. Speaking of Rebecca, so the reason and Rabbi Sue, it's been probably like, it's going to be 18 years since I've seen you, and you haven't aged a single day.
Thank you.
Same, which is amazing. But the reason I even got involved in Hillel is because of you. And one of the things we did actually with Rebecca, we did a mock wedding, and Rebecca was the bride and I was the groom. So it's been some time, but that's why I was involved. So thank you. It's really good to be on here and see everyone.
Thank you so much. That's so funny. I forgot all about that. And you know what the funny thing is the wedding dress she wore is still on the back of the door of that extra conference room in the back of the room. That wedding dress was hanging on the back of that door forever, but I totally had forgotten why or who or anything. That's a great memory. Wow. Do we want to maybe just take a minute and people can just go around, say who you are, what you're doing now until the students join us? Would that be okay? And I think it's probably easier. I can just call on people in the order of my screen. I'm going to skip those of you who've already, who's like David and Adam, because you guys already spoke, if that's okay. And David Moss, I know you asked a question, but go ahead and introduce yourself and what you're doing now.
Sure, thank you. David Moss, 2002. I am in New Jersey. I work at Bank of New York Mellon. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Client Management.
Cool. Eric.
Sounds cool.
It is cool.
Hey there, everyone. I'm Eric, currently live in New York, graduated 2018, and currently I'm a part of a travel startup. So hopefully COVID goes away and everyone enjoys traveling once again.
I hope so too. Ethan.
Sure. Ethan Goldwasser, 2013, graduated, moved to New York. I work at Morgan Stanley within structured products banking.
So cool. Jonathan Levy.
Hey, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. I graduated in 06. I live in Cincinnati currently. I work for Procter & Gamble, and I'm a manager of marketing technology.
Wow, very cool. Jordan.
I'm Jordan Schiff, graduated in 2019. I'm a CPA with RSMUS, so I'm auditing in the government, not-for-profit, and healthcare, and I live in Chicago.
Awesome, thank you. Jeff Moore.
Hey everyone, I'm Jeff Moore. I'm out in San Francisco, graduated in 2011, and I work at Visa in their corporate strategy team.
Great, thanks. Alana and Dan Goffman.
Hi, Dan Goffman, good to see everybody. 2006, did the 3-2 MBA. I was a banker for about 13 years, and now I do M&A for a large national physician group called NAPA.
Very cool.
Hi, Shabbat Shalom. I'm Ilana Goffman. Graduated in 07 from the Kelly School in finance. I am a private wealth advisor at Merrill Lynch.
Wow, very cool. Jason.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Dubrow. I live in New York City, graduated in 2016. I currently work at Godiva Chocolate as an associate brand manager. However, I'm actually leaving the company in about a week and a half to go to the Tops company to work on their confectionery brands as on their marketing team as well.
Wow, very cool. Are you going to take some chocolate with you?
Of course. I'm going to Ring Pops now.
Wow. Ali Baum.
Hi, everybody. This is Ali or Alex. I live in Washington, D.C., class of 06. I'm a CPA and a manager at Deloitte, doing government contracting work. Right now I'm at the Department of Defense. So big client, biggest audit in the history of the world working on.
Wow, very cool. Jeff Rosenberg.
Hi, everyone. Jeff Rosenberg, graduated in 2011 and live in Seattle. I work for Amazon, focus on our kids' devices, e-readers and tablets that for kids ages kind of 3 to 12.
Cool. Nathan.
Hey everyone, I'm Nathan Reddish. I graduated in 2010. I live in Chicago and I'm a national account manager for Chamberlain Group.
Very cool. Robert Wittenberg.
Hey everyone, Robert Wittenberg, 2003 graduate. Actually just finished 6 years serving in the state legislature here in Michigan, and then was recently elected and will start in July as Oakland County Treasurer. We're a county of about 1.3 million people. So I'll start that job in July.
So cool. Matt Aljoel.
Hi, Matt Aljoel. I am currently in Amsterdam. I graduated in 2014 and for Delta Airlines doing revenue management.
David Weisberg.
Hey, Rabbi Sue and everybody.
Hi.
Great to see everybody. I'm also, I guess, a large contingent here in New York City, downtown Manhattan. I'm co-founder and chief operating officer of 10X Capital, which is, we just went public on NASDAQ. So that was a cool experience, got to ring the bell.
Wow.
We had the masks and everything.
That's so cool. Mike Saltzman.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Saltzman. I'm in New York City, working at a firm called Offit Capital. We're a boutique wealth manager for families, endowments, and foundations.
Cool. Alex Gross.
Hey everyone, I'm a 2013 graduate living in Ann Arbor, so actually just down the road from Oakland County, and I work in property management and real estate.
Very cool. John Hakimian.
Everyone, John Hakimian. I live in New York, and I am currently studying full stack software engineering.
Cool.
Great to see everybody.
Thanks. Justin Seidenberg.
Hi, everybody. Justin Seidenberg, graduated 2002. Currently in the suburbs of Chicago and have a scrap metal trading company and also manage a band.
Very cool. Michael Brewell.
Hi, Michael Brewell. I currently work at HKW, a middle market private equity firm in Indianapolis.
Nice, very cool. Let me just switch screens here. Let's see. Well, Phil, you can introduce yourself. But you're muted, okay.
Yep. Hi there, I'm Philip Silverberg and I'm Rabbi Sue's husband. And I can tell you that she's worked a fair bit getting this organized, but she's been totally thrilled that everybody who's on the call has joined and that other people have joined the BLI bigger group than that's on the call. And over the years, I've seen she's really kind of approached BLI as one of her pet projects. And it's really meant a lot to her. And she sees a lot, she sees you guys still as kind of like her kids.
It's true. It's very, very true.
She's very, very proud of all of you, and she feels a strong connection to you, even though a lot of time has gone and she hasn't seen you for a long time.
Thank you. Jared Mason.
Tough to follow up. Hi, I'm Jared Mason. I graduated in 2017 and I work in KPMG's tax and data analytics department.
Wonderful. Lindsay.
Hi, I also graduated in 2017 and then I just finished law school and now I'm working doing corporate and intellectual property law at IBM in New York City.
Fantastic. Julia Rubenstein.
Hi, I'm Julia. I live in Chicago. I graduated in 2018 and I work for EY in tax.
Awesome. Mike Gladner. Okay. All right. We'll skip you, Mike. If you're back on, we can jump to you. And then Alex Goldsmith.
Tried reaching out to her this afternoon after the meeting.
Hey, everyone.
Inaccessible.
Hey, sorry, I'm just on a work call on the side. But hey, I graduated 2012. I'm living in San Diego now, and I work for Northrop Grumman, giant defense company, as a business analyst. And yeah, great to see you, Rabbi Sue.
Fantastic.
So, yeah,
it's great.
really good.
It's really great to see you. And it's so great to see everybody. Is there anybody that I did not, students, I'm going to call on you in one sec, but is there anybody who's not a student that I didn't call on because my screen jumped around, so I could have missed somebody? Anybody I missed? Okay, great. Again, it's just so, everything Phil said is so true. Like, it's just so great to see everybody. And I don't know if Michael Lodner, it says you're trying to connect to audio. Can you connect? Did you get on yet? Oh, you're muted. Okay, great. No, Mike? I know you're
sorry.
Hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Sorry about that. My personal laptop is currently broken, so I'm like working off like a 10-year-old tablet or maybe like 8. But anyway, yeah, just quick. I graduated class of 2015. Love BLI. Happy to be involved with this. Currently living in New York City, doing data science type work at Amex.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mike. And now welcome to our students. A bunch of our students have gotten on. Again, nobody else I forgot, right, that I missed as my screen's been jumping. Great.
I just jumped on a couple of minutes ago. So hi, everyone. My name is Maya. I don't know. I'm a freshman. Not sure about my major yet. Thinking about management with a minor in French and maybe a co-major in international business. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited to be here.
Fantastic. And one of our new BLI board members. So as students, as you jumped on, it's great to see all of you. if you can introduce yourselves, where you're from, and if you know what you're studying in Kelly, include that. And if you're on the BLI board, let us know that. Autumn?
Hi, everyone. I'm Autumn. I'm from Carmel, Indiana. I am studying supply chain management with a minor or a co-major in international business and a minor in human-centered computing. And then I'm also on the BLI board as well.
Fantastic. Thank you. And Michael Friedland.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm a freshman from Long Island, New York. I'm studying finance and I'm on the board as well.
Great. Charlie.
Hi, I'm Charlie Briz from suburbs of Chicago, not really Chicago City at all. And I'm studying entrepreneurship, marketing, and professional sales.
Fantastic. Thanks. Paul.
Hi, my name is Paul Gibkin. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm studying finance and accounting, and I'm also on the BLI board as well.
Thank you. ZV.
Hi, I'm ZV. I'm really sorry if you can hear the music in the background. That's just my sister. But I'm a freshman. I'm from a suburb of Chicago as well. And right now I'm studying management with a co-major in international business and a minor in Spanish.
Great. Thank you. And wait a second, my screen just jumped again. Hold on. Sorry about that. Let's see. Hold on. Jeremy.
Hi, my name's Jeremy. I'm a sophomore from Andover, Massachusetts, and I'm studying accounting and finance.
Fantastic. Thanks. And Zach. Oh, I think we can't, or at least I can't hear you, Zach. Yeah. Unless everybody froze for me.
No, it looks like Zach's trying.
Yeah, Zach's trying. If you manage to get on, Zach, you can introduce yourself then. And then there's actually somebody who's on a phone, but you don't have your name on there. So if you're on and can hear me and want to introduce yourself, please feel free to do that.
Rabbi Sue, it's Rick Charney. Can you hear me?
Oh my gosh. Hi, Rick. Yeah, it's great to hear you.
Yeah, you identified me, and I'm sorry I'm not sharing my screen. I'm
That's
multitasking with the kids.
No problem.
For those of you, I'm only too honored to be introducing myself as David Charney's little brother, his favorite ping pong competitor. And thank you both, Rabbi Sue and David, for everything you've done for BLI. It's quite an amazing network that you guys have started and everyone else has maintained. And I think we should all give ourselves more pats on the back for our historical success and our future success. And obviously BLI is a small part of it, but honored to represent Indiana, the business school, the Jewish community. And thanks again for having me on. I'm in the family business with David and my dad in Dallas. And I also am trying to buy commercial real estate investments for mainly my own money, but also other wealthy investors. So if you do have commercial real estate investment ideas, I'd love to connect with you. Thanks again for calling me out, Rabbi Sue.
I'm glad we got to hear you and that you got to introduce yourself. Thank you for being on. I am going to put in the chat box now a few questions. I'm going to break you. It's going to be just randomly break everybody into breakout rooms. We're going to be in the rooms until probably about between 20 and 25 after 6, so like between 10 and 15 minutes. And then we'll all come back together just to light Shabbat candles. If anybody has family or friends or significant others that are with you, you can invite them in when we go to light the Shabbat candles. But before we do that, I just wanted to say one thing. I do have on a background here, and that was very deliberate because for anybody who hasn't noticed it, that is where we had all of our BLI meetings. So that's particularly why I chose that background. I'll move for a second so you can see it. But but anyways, I don't know if anybody caught that. So I'm going to put us all into breakout rooms. The questions that you're going to ask are, again, you can go over people's names again, where you are, those general ones. Share a BLI memory, and then what would you like to get out of BLI, out of the BLI Alumni Network, and if you can somebody in your rooms, if you come up with anything, things that you think we should do, please share that. So you can either put it into the chat box once we all get back together, or you can email it to me, whatever you prefer. So I am going to open all of the rooms now, and there should be about 5 people in every room. So hopefully we will all end up in rooms. And while we're waiting, it is just so amazing and wonderful to hear about everything that everybody's doing, where everybody is, all the places that you are, the jobs that you're doing, the families, see your families. It's just so cool to have that now, and to see where everybody is today after, for some people, as many as we said, 22 years, 21 years, and for some people just a few years, but and to see the range. It's so cool that we have every generation of IU represented here. Is just so cool, and every generation of BLI represented. So I'm just so excited. And if people are lighting with me, you can light your own candles if we're doing that together. And actually, before we light the candles, one thing that I would just really like to do for anybody who wants to join and say with me is the prayer that you say when you do something that you haven't done for a long time, or something that's very, very special, is the Shahianu Prayer. And it thanks God for bringing us to this very special time in this very special place. And to me, this is definitely one of the most special things that in my life is BLI, and just really so special to all be together after for many of us after so many years, and to be reconnecting and to connecting each other. So I would really like to say the Shahianu together. So anybody who wants to join me with that, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shahianu Higianu Lazman Hazeh. And again, that's just thanking God for bringing us this very special time in this very special place, and thanking all of you for being a part of this. And I'm going to go ahead and light the candles. And if you have your own at home and want to light them also. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. And here, I don't know if you can see the grape juice there. Maybe I'm going to take off my virtual background for a minute so that this doesn't disappear from the thing, and everybody's gotten to see Hillel again. So there we go. Now you can see the Kiddush cup. And I'm going to do the shorter version of the just the Borei Pri Hagafen, the Kiddush, with all of us together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei Pri Hagafen. Amen.
Amen.
Again, thank you to everybody. We will be in touch very soon with more events and with more ways to connect, and reaching out to many of you to speak either this year or else in the upcoming years, and reaching out to people to be mentors. And I can't say enough thank you. I don't know if anybody wants to say any other goodbyes, but thank you so much for being a part of this and for being on this call.
I think, Rabbi Sue, that this is David. I just want to note, how rare and how much it shows how much people care about you to show up 10 years, 15 years later from, that's quite spectacular. It's quite rare, and it's not like one or two people, it's, a bunch of people. So I think that shows, actions speak bigger than words. I think that shows how everybody appreciates you, and also appreciates everything that you did while at IU. Thank you so much, David. Thank you.
And again, thank you so much to everybody. You guys are just amazing. And I'm so excited to reconnect. This is the highlight of my month, if not more. Thank you so much. And I'll be seeing everybody very, very soon, I hope.
Good job.
Thank you, Rabbi Sue.
Thank you.
See you.
See you.
Thank you, Rabbi Sue. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Rabbi
Bye.
Sue.
Thank you, Rabbi Sue.
Everyone. Good to see
Bye, everyone.
Great.
And also a special thank you to all who helped to plan this. I forgot to say that before.
It took a village.
Yes, it did. That is for sure.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.